You know, over the years I've talked to so many people who tell me the same thing. Doc, they say, I used to love walking, but now my legs just don't seem to carry me like they used to. And I get it. That feeling can sneak up on you. One day you're walking just fine, and the next every step feels like a chore. But here's the good news. There are simple foods that can make a real difference, and I'm here to share them with you today. Let me start with something you might not expect: avocado. Now, before you shake your head thinking it's just some trend for the younger crowd, hear me out. You see, as we age, our blood vessels lose a bit of their natural flexibility. They get a little stiff, and that makes it harder for blood to move freely, especially down to your legs and feet. And when blood struggles to reach those muscles, they start to ache and feel heavy, even after just a short walk. I've seen this happen more times than I can count, and I know how frustrating it can be when your body seems to slow you down. That's why I always tell people, taking care of your blood flow is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. Remember working with Mary, a sweet 68-year-old from Ohio. She used to love taking walks in her neighborhood park with her granddaughter, but one day, she told me she couldn't make it halfway down the path without needing to sit and rest. Her legs felt tired, almost like they were dragging her down. She thought it was just part of getting older, something she had to accept, but after we talked, she was willing to try something new. I suggested adding half an avocado to her breakfast a few times a week. She started spreading it on toast, sometimes mashing it with a little lemon juice. It was simple, but within a few weeks, she noticed her walks didn't feel as heavy anymore. She wasn't racing down the path, but she didn't have to stop and sit halfway through either. It was a small change that helped her feel like herself again. What often helps, in my experience, is adding just half an avocado to your meal a few times a week. You don't need to overthink it. Spread it on toast, mix it into a salad, or eat it with a little salt and pepper on the side. It's an easy way to give your body something it truly needs. Remember, every small step you take toward caring for your body matters. You don't have to do it all at once. Even one little change, like adding avocado to your plate, can bring back that lightness in your step. You are worth that effort. You deserve to feel strong again. All right, moving on to something bright and powerful. Beets. I know they might remind you of those old holiday dinners or something your parents used to serve when you were a kid, but don't let that memory fool you. Beets are packed with something called natural nitrates. These little compounds work in your body to open up your blood vessels, letting blood and oxygen flow more easily to your muscles. That's especially important for your legs, because when oxygen doesn't get there the way it should, you start to feel that heavy, tired sensation. It might even feel like you're walking through mud. I see it all the time in my work. People come in thinking their legs are just getting old, but often it's their circulation that needs a little boost. I want to tell you about George, a 72-year-old from Texas. He's one of those guys who loves being outside, especially when it comes to fishing. But after just a short walk to his favorite fishing spot, he started noticing his legs felt worn out, almost like they couldn't keep up with the rest of him. He told me it was getting to the point where he didn't even want to go out anymore. We talked about his meals, and I asked him to try adding some beets to his routine. He started simple, making a small salad with cooked beets a few times a week. Sometimes he'd drink a small glass of beet juice in the morning. It wasn't anything fancy or complicated. After a couple of weeks, George called me and said, "Doc, I made it to my spot and back without stopping once." His voice had that spark again. He was excited, and honestly, I was just as proud as he was. One of the easiest ways to help your legs feel stronger is to add beets to your meals a few times a week. You can boil them, roast them, or even pick up some beet juice at your local store. Just a small serving can give your blood flow the push it needs. Don't forget, even something as simple as a beet can bring life back into the things you love. You don't have to give up your walks or your hobbies. Sometimes all it takes is adding a little color back to your plate and to your life. Now let's talk about something hearty and comforting: salmon. You've probably heard people mention omega-3s before, and it might sound like just another health buzzword. But let me tell you, omega-3 fatty acids are one of the best things you can give your joints and muscles, especially as you get older. Over time, our muscles lose some of their natural strength, and our joints don't move as smoothly as they used to. This can make walking feel like a real effort, especially if you're dealing with swelling or stiffness in your legs. Supporting your muscles and joints from the inside can make all the difference, and salmon is one of the easiest, tastiest ways to do that. I remember Helen, a lovely 75-year-old from Florida, who used to love walking along the beach near her home. But after a while, she started noticing that her calves would tighten up just a few minutes into her walk. The pain got so uncomfortable that she began avoiding the beach altogether, which made her feel isolated and stuck. When we sat down to talk, I suggested she try adding salmon to her meals once or twice a week. She was skeptical at first, thinking it wouldn't make much difference, but she gave it a shot. She started baking a small fillet with a little lemon and olive oil on Sundays. After a few weeks, she told me she noticed something she hadn't felt in a long time. Her legs felt lighter, and the tightness wasn't stopping her anymore. She started walking again, little by little, and she even sent me a photo of her smiling by the shoreline, saying, "I got my beach days back." What often helps is adding a serving of salmon to your meals once or twice a week. You can bake it, grill it, or cook it on the stove with a bit of olive oil and lemon. It doesn't have to be fancy, just something simple that your body will thank you for. Always remember, your body is still capable of surprising you. Even when it feels like it's slowing down, a small change like this can help you feel strong and steady again. You've carried yourself through so much already. You deserve to keep moving with ease. Let's keep going with something small but powerful. Walnuts. Now, I know they might seem like just a little snack to pass the time, but these tiny nuts carry something really special. They're packed with magnesium and healthy fats that not only help your blood vessels stay flexible, but also support your nerves. You see, a lot of people think leg pain is just about tired muscles or bad circulation, but sometimes it's the nerves that are struggling. You might feel tingling, burning, or even numbness in your feet or legs after walking. That's your body's way of telling you it needs some extra care. And giving your nerves the right nutrients can make walking feel less like a challenge and more like the simple pleasure it used to be. I think back to Robert, a 67-year-old from Arizona, who came to see me with a familiar story. He loved going out to check on his garden every morning, but lately his legs had started to feel strange, like they were buzzing or burning after just a short walk across his yard. He told me he felt like his legs were betraying him, and it really shook his confidence. We talked about simple ways to support his nerve health, and I suggested adding a small handful of walnuts to his daily routine. Robert started having them in the afternoon with a cup of tea, just a few nuts at a time. After a couple of weeks, he told me that the buzzing had calmed down, and the burning wasn't bothering him as much. He even started walking a little further each morning, feeling like himself again. Sometimes it's the simplest things that make the biggest difference. What I often recommend is eating about 5 to 7 walnuts each day. You can enjoy them as a snack, sprinkle them on your oatmeal, or mix them into a salad. It's a small step, but your nerves and blood vessels will feel the benefit. And here's what I want you to remember: you're not stuck where you are. Even the smallest change, like adding a few walnuts to your day, can help you feel more in control again. You have more strength in you than you realize, and every step forward is worth it. And now let's brighten things up with something simple and familiar: oranges. You might think of them as just a breakfast fruit or something you grab when you feel like a little sweetness. But they're actually packed with vitamin C, which your body needs more than ever as you get older. You see, vitamin C helps keep the walls of your blood vessels strong and supports the tissues in your joints. When those tissues break down, you might feel more stiffness, soreness, or even swelling in your knees and ankles. Sometimes it feels like your body is fighting against you, but the truth is it's just asking for a little extra help. Giving it what it needs can bring back that ease you've been missing in your steps. I always think of Barbara, a 70-year-old from Kentucky, who told me she used to love going on short walks around her block every morning. But as the months went by, her knees started to ache more and more, until one day she just stopped going outside. When we talked, I asked her about her meals, and I suggested she try adding an orange to her breakfast each day. She laughed at how simple it sounded, but she gave it a try. A few weeks later, she called me and said, "I don't know if it's the orange or just getting back into the habit, but my knees aren't holding me back anymore." She started walking again, slowly at first, but with a little more confidence each day. It reminded me that sometimes the answers really are as simple as they sound. What I've seen help many people is eating one fresh orange each morning. You can peel it and eat it as is, add the slices to a fruit salad, or even squeeze it for a fresh glass of juice. However you enjoy it, your body will be grateful for the boost. And here's something I hope you hold on to. Every new day is a chance to take care of yourself in small, gentle ways. You don't have to change everything overnight. Sometimes all it takes is adding a little sunshine to your plate to remind yourself that you're still moving forward, one step at a time. If you found even one of these tips helpful, I'd love to hear about it. Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else feel less alone. And if you'd like more simple ideas like these, don't forget to subscribe and tap the little bell so you don't miss a thing. Remember, you are never walking this road alone. You are stronger than you think, and every new day is yours to live fully.